This is Heavy Conversation with Bruce and Jody, a podcast where we talk about being a big guy in today's world. I'm Bruce. And I'm Jody. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, we go. All right, here we go.
Jody.
Hey, Bruce, how's it going?
It's good. It's good. It's hot here, and I'm doing what so many people have been doing lately, and that's staying inside and watching TV.
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
I know. I definitely have been feeling that. Like, it's like 90 plus here in Portland the last few days, and I'm just like, I like summer, but I'm not ready for all the sweaty and like ness. So yeah, a little bit more couch surfing the last few days.
Yeah, it's like after all of this time of complaining and talking about how it's been cold and rainy and we've been waiting for the heat, and then the heat gets here and we don't go outside.
Well, I know, right? That's exactly how it always seems to be. If it's not, we're complaining about the cold and the rain, and then, it's too hot. We're a little Goldilocks over here with the weather. But
since we're talking about what we've been spending our time doing, we might as well dive into it, because I think there's a lot to be said about the huge amount of streaming video services that are available right now.
Yeah, it's almost overwhelming how many there are. I sometimes forget which one the show is that I was watching, which I'm like, wait, was that on Amazon Prime or was that on Hulu? And I'm like, Like that's my frustration sometimes when I'm like, remember I was loving that show, and then I'm like, wait, which one was it on? I'm like scrolling, and Alexa is not helping me because it doesn't search and all the things.
Well, there is definitely something about having too many options. When you have so many options and so many things to choose from, it makes it more difficult to find things to watch sometimes.
Yeah, you just spend more time scrolling. It's just like back to regular TV where you're like flipping channels looking for something good to watch, and then you're like, okay, well, it's time to go to bed now. So
right. So it makes sense that we would talk a little bit about some of these video services, the ones that we're watching, what we've maybe checked out and dropped, just some of the things that we're watching on these services as well. Now, obviously, everybody knows about Netflix. If you're listening to this, obviously, you know Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus. We're not going to spend a ton of time on those, but it's worth talking about what's there and some of the things that we like, because if you're anything like us, you're running into the problem of, okay, I've got all this stuff, but I don't know what to watch. So hopefully this will help.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think those are kind of, Netflix is my mostly my go-to. I use the Amazon Fire Stick thing for my TV. So I stream everything through that. So whatever's available on the Amazon Prime thing. So we have Prime and Hulu and Netflix, and I even got the Apple TV app or whatever.
Nice.
Like some of those shows, and then we did have HBO, but now they've changed it. Maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. They've changed their process, and they're not lining up with Amazon right now. So, but yeah, I think Netflix is always my go-to. That's kind of where I start.
That's where we should probably kick it off. Is Netflix is always kind of the default. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time. They arguably do it better than anybody else out there at this point. They've got a lot of stuff to watch. I just watched The Old Guard, which I don't know if you've heard about this, but
yes.
Everybody's talking about it.
Yes.
Everybody's talking. Yeah. Which is how I found out about it. Oh, everybody's saying it's a great movie. And it's, if you haven't heard, the Old Guard is basically, the easiest way to describe it is it's Charlize Theron in like her version of Highlander. It's like these.
That's exactly what Bjorn was like. He's like, this is basically Highlander. And I'm like, oh, that's really weird. it didn't even like cross my mind at first. I was like, oh no, that's weird.
Totally. And it's based off of a comic that someone who lives here in Portland, who of course his name just totally escaped me as we're talking about this.
I didn't know that.
But yeah, it was based off of this story that this guy did, and he was very involved in the writing and kind of the process of putting this together. And I heard an interview where he was kind of talking about what the process was like, and it was really cool to just how involved he was to keep it very close to the original subject matter. And I mean, it's good. You can definitely tell with the way that they set it up. Charlize Theron and these handful of other people who you probably won't recognize um, are they're like immortals as far as we can tell, and
Yeah,
it kind of goes through them in modern days and a new immortal person showing up. It kind of goes through the whole thing, and so you watched the movie, right?
I did. I
Did you?
did. Yes.
Okay. Is is the bad guy the kid from Harry Potter? Um, uh,
The pharmaceutical guy, is that the?
n- yes, yeah. So the
Oh,
CEO
geez, I don't even.
dude,
I guess I didn't
I'm
recognize him.
I'm pretty sure it's uh, Vernon and Petunia's
I don't
son.
know. Yeah,
Oh man, I'm so horrible with names.
I
You
don't.
know,
I am. I we both suck at that. I can never
yeah,
remember. Oh, that
right,
guy from that movie. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. I'm telling you, they're at least once an episode. There's got to be somebody who's screaming at their
Oh, funny.
iPhone or their podcast player as they're listening to us forget names and forget words, and you know. But I digress. I'm pretty sure it's that dude, and he's in it, and he is just as like unlikable in this role as he was in that. So uh, if you're looking
Oh,
for another reason to watch it, there you go. You
yes, he
got it.
was definitely in Harry Potter.
Yes. What's his name?
His name is Harry Melling.
Okay.
Melling.
Yeah.
But
Does it say the
uh,
character?
Dudley Durnsley.
Yes, Dudley.
Yes.
Dudley. There we go.
Oh my God, I did.
Yes.
I see it now, but I was like, who? What?
Yep. Yep. He's like older and he's a bit
Yeah,
more.
a
Yeah.
little trimmer in
Yeah.
the current movie. Yeah,
Right. Right. But yeah, just as horrible. So he's got that. He knows how to play that role. So
yeah. The
uh, it was a fun movie. They definitely set it up to become a franchise. You can tell
Yeah, I
they're going
hope
to
they
do more.
do. I hope they
Yeah.
do it. It kind of and it's not like a vampires if you're thinking
No.
immortals. It's no vampires, but we won't give away all of it. But they had a really cool like backstory to the Charlize Theron's character and
Hmm.
what she actually was doing for the society and for the world and everything. It was really kind of cool. I liked that little weird like she, they're like assassins kind of and
Hmm.
they kill people, but then it's like yeah, it's really cool. You got to check it out and get that little backstory of what all they're killing. It seems like it's just they're killing people for no apparent reason or just for their own good, but it has a really cool backstory to why they're killing and who they're killing and stuff like that. It was really
Yes.
interesting. I like that little part of it.
And this is the beginning of a theme through this episode: is that there was a character from the Marvel universe in this as well. Chiwetel Ejiofor was who played Baron Mordo in Doctor Strange,
Hmm.
was also in it, and he was the guy who kind of he starts to tie things together in an interesting way.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yes, yes, definitely worth watching. It was fun. It's fun. It's nice to have a fun movie. Like it's I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would,
Hmm. Hmm.
and yeah, I would probably watch it again. And there aren't a ton of movies that I like to rewatch. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I literally watch so many different kinds of things on Netflix, anywhere from The Warrior Nun. I've been kind of watching that for a while. It's kind of a weird, kind of supernatural show. So that one's been kind of a fun one that I'm watching. But also, I just watch like random movies that, if
Mhm.
I'm always looking at what's new, there's like um, a little search bar on the side. You can find out
Mm.
what's new or what just got released onto Netflix. So it helps me because otherwise I'm like I've seen all these. I'm scrolling. I'm like I've watched everything that there is on Netflix. Is how I feel sometimes, and I'm like wow that's kind of crazy. So I'm always searching on the little search bar on the left, and it says like what's new, and I've been doing that lately to find out new shows or new movies or episodes or whatever. So it's kind of my
Yeah,
little
and
trick that I've been doing.
And they do a good job with their original series. They put out so much
Mm-hmm.
content, just so
Mm-hmm.
many original series, and they take a lot of things that, and everybody's doing this. Take those things that you loved when you were a child or that were around when you were a child, and they bring them back, like unsolved
Oh,
mysteries.
I know. I thought about watching that,
Yes.
but I was like, is it gonna? Is it
It's
all
gonna bum you
new
out.
things? Is it all new
Yeah.
ones?
It is. So it's all new ones, and I have not watched it yet. My wife has, and two things that she told me that kind of have kept me from watching it. I'm going to watch it, but I
Okay.
haven't yet because number one, she was like, watching it, it was just kind of at the end of the episodes they're unsolved, so it's just kind of a bummer. It's kind of a bummer. These things happen to these people, and nobody
And
knows.
nobody knows what.
Right,
There's no like nice little wrap up and
right,
conclusion. No,
right,
yeah. Well, I
and
mean
and
that is the name of
two,
the show. It's Unsolved Mysteries. It doesn't say
sure.
we
Well,
solved these
did
mysteries.
did you watch it when you were a kid?
I
Like, do you
did. I
remember?
did. I remember the weird music and yeah.
And that was the other thing it's missing is the weird music. They
Oh, it's
didn't.
different. Oh,
It is different music, which is no
okay.
horrible. How can you can't bring unsolved mysteries back without the music? But
Yeah.
the other thing, the I don't know. I just like I don't know if I could get into something that's so heavy right now.
I know
So
that was yeah. That was why I didn't want to watch it. I was like, I don't want to watch
yeah,
about people weird
right.
things happening to them and like
Yeah.
drama and stress. I want fun,
Yes.
happy like escapism TV. I don't want such real stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. So, there's tons of stuff to watch, and I mean, Netflix is killing it with comedy specials. I mean, they've
Oh
got
yeah.
everything, and I love watching stand-up comedy. So it's great to just kind of be able to dive into it. And I always try to watch. I try to watch comedians that I'm not as familiar with, just
hmm
because I mean they've got so much. So it's very cool.
Yeah, we're Bjorn's a comedian, so we're always watching a lot of those stand-up specials, and I feel bad because we literally watched one not that long ago, and I already forgot her name, but it was a really good one where she recorded it on like a battleship or something, or on a
Oh
freight
wow.
like a U.S. Navy ship. Like I don't
Huh.
remember, but it was really cool. Like it was kind of a fun special, and we watched the making of the comedy special on Amazon,
Oh wow.
and then her special was on Netflix. It was kind of this weird, like cross promotion of her special on. Yeah, it was kind of fun,
Interesting.
and I don't know her
So
name, so you should watch it. It's really good.
the comedy show on a battleship. If you start with that, you'll be
Yeah,
able to
yeah,
figure it out. Right. We're not going to hold your hand through this
yeah.
episode.
Yeah,
We
I
got to
don't
do
want to
some.
just spoon feed you everything.
That's right. That's right. So we've talked enough about Netflix. I feel like Disney Plus needs some kind of mention, and
hmm
I've made no secret of the fact that I love all the Marvel stuff, and they have all the Marvel movies, and they're doing all of these shows that are some of them are getting pushed back because of everything we're going
Yeah.
through right now, but we're getting shows that tie in with the movies that I think will be a lot of fun. Plus, there's
hmm
Star Wars and Pixar and National Geographic, which
Yeah,
is
Nat Geo.
awesome.
Yeah,
So,
they have some fun, and they also have some fun like behind the scenes sort of things
mm,
that involve like the making of movies and Pixar and all that kind
yes,
of stuff. Which was I like those kind of like find out more about the process kind of things on the
yeah,
Disney Plus. It's really fun.
and Disney Plus came out of the gate with The Mandalorian, which
Oh
was
yes,
phenomenal. It was just it was the Star Wars show. It was what we wanted out of the movies that maybe we didn't get with
yeah,
these newest movies we got out of this show, which is awesome. So
yeah, and
yeah,
they're doing more seasons, I believe. So
yes, they're
I
already
don't.
filmed,
Oh, they are.
so
Oh wow.
it'll be out in October. So
Okay,
yeah,
good. Okay, I thought so, but then I was like, I don't even remember. It's hard for me to
yeah,
remember what's coming. And I did watch the first half of Hamilton. I watched it kind of late, so the intermission was a good point for me to stop. And
nice.
I didn't go back, but definitely will probably watch the whole thing again, just to get the whole, continuity of the story. But it was really
Yeah.
fun to like feel like you were kind of at a Broadway show or at a theater watching a show. It's watching like a live show like that is really kind of it's way different than watching a movie or a TV show with all this high production value and just
Mm.
seeing the small group of people create this whole world on that little stage is really fun, and I think it's kind of, it's really a lot of talent behind that. I think it's, and it was a little jarring. I've heard that some of the characters play different characters in the second half, so just
Oh,
pay attention to who they actually are, not that it's the same actor, but who they're portraying. So don't get
okay.
lost in that.
Disney Plus it feels like they're doing it right. They're covering a lot of ground, and I think every Friday through the summer they're putting out new movies or doing like a movie night kind of thing where
Okay.
they're spotlighting certain films for people to watch. So, it's cool to see they've got all the stuff we've mentioned so far, plus of course all of the Disney films that
Yes. I can
made
watch Little
Disney what it
Mermaid
is.
whenever I want, which is glorious.
Yes, yes. We've been watching a ton of the old the old animated shorts. So like the
Oh
Mickey
yeah.
Mouse and Goofy and Donald Duck shorts from like the 30s, 40s, 50s,
Yeah. We
and they're
watched
great.
we watched like a goofy one with him skiing, and like he was
Right.
like sleeping in the cabin and woke up like skiing and just basically falling down the hill, and I don't know, it's just like classic old Disney stuff
Totally.
that's kind of fun to watch. Even if you don't
Yeah.
have kids, it's fine. It's fine.
Exactly. Exactly. I just
Bring
yeah,
out the inner kid in yourself and just enjoy a classic old Disney short film of Goofy and all his
yes.
weird antics. It's always fun.
Speaking of enjoyment, it's beer time.
Ooh, I had to already bust mine open. I was having a little frog in my
Oh,
throat.
what do you
I
what
have, I think it's Mama's Peach Cobbler. It is
Ooh,
so yummy. I had one, I think, yesterday. It's
nice.
a Mama's Mean Cobbler is a delightful variation of our peach triple with vanilla, cinnamon, coconut milk, sugar added. It's like it tastes like a peach pie in your mouth or peach cobbler in your mouth. It's
Nice.
glorious. Oh, I should look up who it's from. I already forgot. Untapped is going to save me.
All right.
It's Hardwood Craft Park Brewery.
Where are they located?
Hardywood Park Craft. That's a long name. Sorry, that was
Hmm.
in Richmond, Virginia.
Oh, fancy.
Yeah,
Fancy, fancy. Well, I
delightful.
am keeping it close to home with
Ooh,
Totally Chill Hazy IPA from Hopworks Urban Brewery
very nice.
uh, right here in Portland. They've got some good ones and they've got some fun places to visit. So yes.
This says it's a Belgian style fruit ale with peaches and spices.
Ooh,
8.2 alcohol by volume. Ooh,
nice.
it's a yummy one. But it
Yes.
doesn't taste like a really strong beer. It's got a lot
Hmm.
of peaches and cream kind of taste.
That's good. That's good. They can do some
Mm.
interesting things with fruit beers that I love. It's nice to sometimes you just get burnt out on the hoppiness or the stouts or whatever, and it's nice to have something
Absolutely.
with a bit of flavor to it in a kind of a different way.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely
yes.
agree. Especially on this like super hot days, I was like,
Oh yeah.
oh, like a really
Yeah.
fruity, yeah, a Belgian triple.
Mm. Very nice. Very nice.
No IBU. Okay, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. This beer, the Totally Chill Hazy IPA is um I have no idea. Oh, 6%
Totally
is about all.
hazy.
Yes, yes. It's good. It's
Oh,
very
totally
smooth, easy to
craft.
drink. I very much enjoy it.
You're
So,
like the what was that radio? The like record, like there was like an old TV show where the guy like a dance show, and he would like the countdown with what's his name,
Casey Kasem?
Casey, and I think he was like, oh, it's easy to dance to or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Nice, nice.
Every time you say that, that goes in my head. Totally Chill by Hopworks Urban Brewery.
That's right. That's right. So, yes, you can follow along with our beer lists on Untapped. It's the place where we put them all, where Jody puts them all. You put them all up,
I
and
try to, yeah.
yeah, yes, yes. And uh, if you're watching this video, You can see
Mm.
Untapped. Yep,
Mm.
yep. There we go.
Very nice.
So, so yes, yes, definitely. Uh, Follow the list, see what we're adding to it, and get some of your own.
Yeah.
Yes,
Toast us. You can cheers us or toast us on there.
indeed.
All right.
So yes, back to streaming services. So the next one on the list, Hulu. I will admit that I don't watch it a ton. I've got it because we've got like the bundle that's Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, which I like never watch. I mean, and I tried at first where I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this because it's got some cool stuff, and it does have cool stuff
Yeah.
on it, but it's just not something I go to as a default. But
Mm-hmm.
Hulu, uh, What We Do in the Shadows. So
Oh, jeez.
it has, yes, it's the second season of What We Do in the Shadows is out, and I just binged it. I basically waited until like the day after all the episodes were out and watched it, and it is phenomenal. And my friend Harvey Guillen is in it. He plays Guillermo, and he is. They gave him a lot to work with this season, and it was really cool. Like just the role they put him in. I mean, the whole thing is hilarious. Everybody in the show it's the writing is great, the actors are phenomenal, the whole thing is great, but Guillermo, that gave a really cool storyline that uh, kind of popped up at the end of the first season, went through this whole season, and will definitely lead into some interesting things in the third season. So I'm not giving it away, but I would definitely recommend you watch it. I thought that this season was funnier than the first
Okay.
season.
Wow.
Like they,
It is a really weird, like quirky show. Like,
it is.
wasn't it a British show or something before?
It's a movie. It's a
Oh, okay, a movie. I was like,
yeah.
I swear I watched like a really weird movie, and I got kind of
Yes.
confused for a minute. I was like, wait, I thought I watched that already,
Right.
and it
So
was
yeah,
just really,
it's a
really quirky and weird, but it was really funny. Like I thought it was a funny thing.
totally. Yeah, it's really good. And I mean they do a great job just kind of playing off it. It's basically like this idea of like a mockumentary kind of horror sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's following this these vampire roommates around who live in Staten Island, and
Yes.
it follows them through their night to night lives. And Harvey Guillen is like their familiar. He plays Guillermo. He's their familiar, and uh, it's great. It's so good, and it was written by Jermaine Clement and Taika Waititi, who is everywhere. So uh, I can't recommend it enough. It's definitely one of my favorite shows this year. So
Nice.
definitely check it out.
Well, I was watching on Hulu is called The Great. It's about
Oh,
Catherine the Great. It's like a satirical um, kind of. It's not like it doesn't. It's not like a historical documentary or anything weird like that. But it's just this weird story about the rise of Catherine the Great in Russia. I love period piece movies or shows. Just the
sure.
drama and the weird, and it's just like all the killing that would happen. And
Mm.
I don't know. It's if you know anything about history, it's kind of a fun thing to just kind of watch, and it's really fun. I think I'm trying to remember. Is it Ellie Fanning or Elle Fanning?
Elle Fanning.
Elle
Yeah.
Fanning plays Catherine the Great. Just kind of
Nice.
it's fun. I don't know. I just thought it was a really fun, kind of a funny show, but it's just the weird. I don't know. I love historical movies like that, even though it's kind of satirical about the rise of Catherine the Great. But yeah, it's kind of a fun show. I would definitely
Definitely.
recommend it, and I believe there's probably going to be a season two. I'm hoping. I can like I said, I can't keep track of which ones are coming again or what's not, but I'm
Right.
hoping it'll be a couple seasons at least.
Nice. Yeah, there's definitely some good stuff there. Hulu is Disney Hulu. There's a relationship there. So you're also going to see some of the more adult oriented Marvel stuff. So some of the things that maybe isn't made to appeal to all ages, where it's more kind of like the Marvel stuff that was on Netflix. You're going to see
Hmm.
more of that kind of stuff go to Hulu as opposed to Disney Plus, which I'm excited about to see how they kind of take some of those characters and stories and keep them moving forward. So, yeah.
Yeah, they have a lot of. I love a lot of their original programming on
Mm.
Hulu. I think that's kind of what I have. Like why I have a lot of the different streaming services is because I really liked. Oh my goodness, what was the one? The Handmaid's Tale. I
Oh
really
yeah,
enjoyed
right,
that.
right.
And Shrill, I really enjoyed that
Shrill, of
show.
course.
There's a lot
Yes.
of really good shows that were on Hulu that are on Hulu. So
Yep.
it's hard to like when you're like, oh, I need to cut back a little bit or budget a little better. But when they have those bundle deals with Disney, you get them all anyways. So
Got to do it.
you
Yeah.
might as well get them all, and then you can enjoy some of the original programming that they're doing. I really enjoy it.
Definitely. Yes, watch Shrill season 2.
Ooh,
See if you can spot my ass in one of the episodes of season 2. It's my
yes.
claim to fame.
Woo.
My face is barely on Hulu, but my ass is definitely on Hulu. So,
That's
yes.
funny.
So, Amazon Prime. I don't watch a ton of Amazon Prime. I mean, I kind
Hmm.
of just honestly, what ended up happening with that is Amazon Prime puts like anything on, so they've got some crazy ass shows in addition to their own their own content that they're creating. They got just like the YouTube video stuff, and my kids found the YouTube video stuff and would not stop watching it, so it went away. So I don't have much to say about Amazon Prime. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I'm trying to think what I watch that's like exclusively on Prime. I can't say that I can think of what their original programming is.
Right.
I know I just watched like some of their movies that they offer. I think I did My Spy on Amazon Prime, which was a fun
Hmm.
um, little movie with that wrestler guy that was in a Marvel movie. He was that weird tattooed up guy in
The guy who played Drax.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
God
Yeah.
dang it.
I know. It's the name. The name. It's
Dave
gone. Yep. Dave
Bautista.
Batista.
There we
There
go.
we
I'm
go.
like Dave
Yep.
Bautista,
Yep.
which I didn't
Yep.
even know he was a WWE or W whatever guy.
Yeah.
I never even knew that.
Yep.
So I was like, oh wow, I'm really out of the loop on that guy. But
Yep.
that was a good movie that I watched on there, but it's not like their original or anything. So
Yeah. I think they've got the new Kevin Smith movie, the new Jay and Silent Bob reboot, which I have wanted to watch,
hmm.
and that was the reason that I reinstalled Amazon Prime was to watch that, but I haven't yet. So.
Oh, I did watch Upload. That was a fun one.
Oh,
Where it's like when you before you die, you can upload into like a virtual reality universe.
interesting.
So it was kind of a fun, and it's like you have to pay for upgrades and you get more time. I don't know. It's just very weird, but it was kind of a fun,
Wow.
like, oh, this is what afterlife could be, but your consciousness is like in this virtual reality world with all these other people that are like, actually dead. So, but then
Hmm.
their hope is that the technology will advance so much that they can or like download into a body again,
Yeah.
but they're trying to do that. So it's just kind of a
Hmm.
weird. It was fun. It was a fun little show.
Right.
I would recommend that.
Yeah.
That was an Amazon original one.
So there are definitely shows there, and of course I know there are tons of shows that I've watched on Amazon that I just can't remember now. So that's the other thing with having so much is that it's like it takes a lot for something to really resonate with you and stick with you.
Mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
know, so that's the case for me. I'll watch something and forget that I watched it, and
Yeah,
you know then that's it. So
that's why a lot of times I just default to Netflix and I just put on something. A lot of times, if I'm really tired and I just want to kind of relax, I'll just watch The West Wing like again,
nice.
like just
Yes.
something just to kind of chill out and relax. That I don't need to pay attention to because I've seen it a few hundred times or at least a
Right.
few times. And so instead of like searching for which show on what thing and making a decision, I'm like, I'll just watch another episode of Westworld or
Right.
or no, Westworld, West Wing.
Westworld.
See,
Well, speaking of Westworld, the next entry on our list is HBO Max,
ooh, that
which
was a smooth transition.
that was nice. That was nice.
You're
So
welcome.
yeah, HBO Max has everything. Basically, if you had HBO before, HBO Go, HBO Now, whatever, any sort of HBO streaming service, it is now HBO Max, or that is what they are trying to push you toward. And HBO Max is taking all of the Warner content and putting it in one place. So
Hmm.
you're getting all your HBO shows, but you're also getting like Friends and a bunch of other shows and movies. There's a ton of stuff, and it is. I mean, they've got like Cartoon Network, so they've got all that stuff. They've got, so that means Adult Swim as well. They have everything. There's just a ton of content and all the DC Universe stuff. So if you were one of the rubes like me who decided to pay for a year of the DC Universe service that you could tell after about 3 months was not going to be getting updated quite as much as it needed to be,
Hmm.
all of that stuff is moving to either the CW or HBO Max, and I definitely recommend Doom Patrol. It is a weird show, and it's good. It's absolutely made for adults. So um, I don't even know how you describe it. Are they superheroes? I mean, I guess they're trying to do
Yeah.
good, but it's weird. And it's fun, and it is definitely, it takes that whole formula and kind of uh stomps on it. So if you're looking for something that's not the same thing that everybody else is doing with regards to those kind of shows, I would definitely recommend it. I really like Doom Patrol a lot. It's they're in their second season, and it's out every Thursday, I believe.
Nice.
So yeah.
Well, I unfortunately had HBO before, but like I said, we have the Amazon Fire Stick, I think it's called. So
Right.
it's not available. The new HBO Max is not available on that yet. So I'm a little upset about that because there are some shows that I wanted to watch, and I think we're probably still paying for HBO, even though we
Hey.
aren't getting any new um, programs or shows or anything like that. So
Hmm.
hopefully HBO and Net or Amazon or whoever can work out their differences. And
Yeah.
I know that I think there might be some hacking you could do to make it work, but I don't always like to do that. So I got plenty to watch, but I know
Right.
that there were some movies and shows that were like, oh, I see ads for them, and then I go on to
Right.
HBO and I'm like, well, why aren't they on here? And then I'm like, oh, this is just regular HBO, not the new HBO. So they're not. Yeah, it's just kind of weird.
Yeah. Right.
But
Hopefully they get that fixed.
yeah, I'll deal with it for
Yes.
now, and just I've got my go tos as it is, so
Right. Right.
I'll live.
So the next one on the list is it did not make the cut for me. Quibby.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're not familiar with Quibby, it's basically it was created to be a streaming service that is only on your phone, that shows series that are 10 minutes or less. Quibby, like quick bites,
Yep.
is apparently the idea. In theory, it's a cool idea. The execution of it, not so much. It's weird because they have so much content. They have so many like well-known names. They're well-known actors
Yeah.
uh, that are doing the shows. And I did the free trial, and um, I mean, I unsubscribed after the trial. It was not. The shows didn't really keep me, and I don't love watching shows on my phone,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
if I don't have to. And it seems as though I'm not the only person who feels that way, because there's an estimate of them only having 75 to 80,000 paid subscribers
Okay.
at this point. They put a lot of money into what they were
Yeah.
doing. So I
It,
don't I don't know, who knows where things really are at, but it's not looking good for Quibi. The two things that I did see there that I liked right before I canceled my subscription, they brought back Reno 911, which I loved, which is just amazing. And they did this like remake of The Princess Bride, and they used all of these different actors playing all the different roles, and they would kind of like rotate out. So at the beginning it was, they had like Adam Sandler as the grandpa, as
Oh, that's right.
the
You were talking about that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end, it was Rob Reiner who actually directed the movie with his dad as the boy in the bed. Carl Reiner was, or no, it was reversed. It was Carl Reiner as the grandpa and Rob Reiner as the boy,
Hmm.
and it was the very end of it. Spoiler if you haven't seen it, but
I don't
uh,
think many people will.
it was actually really cool because the way that they ended it and kind of went through this whole thing, the very end of it, he's says something along the lines of, will you come back tomorrow and read me more? And he's as you wish, and does the whole thing. And as he's leaving, Carl Reiner had just died, within a few days of that
Hmm.
coming out. So
Hmm.
it was really touching. It was really cool to see that. The way that they did that movie, I would probably subscribe to something that just did that with movies, because
Okay.
they
Okay.
had all of these different actors that would like rotate into these roles. So they
Yeah.
had they'd have different people playing the roles for like small parts of whatever scene they were doing, and
Okay.
the camera would change, and everybody's doing it from home. They're all doing it
Oh,
from
that's
from their
right.
own,
Yeah. 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 That's right.
so it's all done in this really interesting way where they're going back and forth. And like the Andre the Giant part, there was one part of it where Shaquille O'Neal plays that role, and it was amazing. Like the whole thing was so cool, and it was a lot of fun. That is, I don't know that that's something they're ever going to do again, but those were the two things that I really liked about it. Other than that, didn't make it for me.
Yeah. I think they just unfortunately launched at a bad time for people's
Mm,
viewing habits. They didn't catch enough people before everyone shut down and just were in front of their TVs, all the time. So,
right.
yeah, a couple articles were talking about that so many people just canceled it after the free subscription. It's only $4.99 with ads or $7.99 without ads. But yeah, going up against those big, like Netflix,
Right.
everybody has it, so it's hard to make that switch to watch it just on your phone. I think,
Right.
but I think there was a lot of, like you were saying, I think those small bites are hard to get you really sucked into it. If it
Definitely.
stops, you can just look away and then you're off your phone or, you know,
Yeah, one of the shows that I watched early on was a drama, and the first episode, the way that it opened, it kind of felt like it didn't feel like there wasn't enough time for them to establish the the situation, the
yeah.
world, the relationships between the characters. So it felt like coming into a second episode as opposed to a first one, and so it just kind of felt weird. And I noticed that with a few other shows. I
Hmm.
don't feel like it really that those quick bites lend themselves to that kind of content, serialized kind of show where
Yeah, it's hard to
it's
get that
dramatic.
story arc in like a couple minutes because you have to care about the character or at least know who they are a
Right.
little bit to even in their struggle and their resolute. Like, how do you do that in a couple
Right.
minutes?
And then what are you going to do, like 400 episodes to
Yeah.
I mean, so
Uh,
yeah.
oh, sorry.
So that's how it goes. And I mean, there are a lot of other streaming services. I mean, we could jump into what Apple TV is, which I will say about Apple TV that I have actually liked a lot of the shows that I've watched on Apple TV Plus,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, is that what it's called?
the
Okay, yeah.
yeah, it's Apple TV
There's
Plus.
a
I
couple
I
good shows on there that I
There are
hope they're going to
some
come
good,
back.
yeah, some good shows, some good movies. I have been really impressed. The thing is that I forget to go back and look and see what
Yep,
else is
yep.
new there
That
and
was my same thing. I
watch.
I got a
Yeah,
notification or like I looked at my bank account and it was like, "Oh, Apple TV." I'm like, "Oh, that's right. I'm paying for Apple TV." So I go back there and I was like, "Oh, look at this show.
right.
Oh, look at this thing." Oh.
The great thing about Apple TV Plus is if you're a fan of Apple products, when you buy an Apple product, you get a free year of Apple TV Plus, and
Oh.
so
Well, we're getting new laptops, so
there you go. So
ooh. But I'm
yeah,
already paying
yeah.
for it, so I don't know.
All right, yeah.
And
So
and I don't. There's other ones like Twitch and YouTube. I don't do anything on Twitch or whatever.
sure,
I don't watch any. I just have not gotten into that, and I don't really, other than like quirky videos or like
you're
product
not watching
review.
shows on
I'm not
YouTube,
watching shows on YouTube. I haven't done any of the
right?
YouTube Red or anything, whatever that is, and
Right.
I just haven't gotten into that kind of stuff.
Yeah. The last one on the list that I found is Peacock, which is NBC Universal's new
Oh geez.
streaming service, because we don't have enough streaming services. So let's throw another
No.
one. Yeah. So Peacock is basically like NBC, all the NBC shows, Bravo shows, everything that's related to NBC and Universal movies, and they've got some good movies on it, surprisingly. And the cool thing about it is that their base package is free, so you can just download it and you can watch a bunch of stuff. The bad thing about that is that there are certain things that you might want to watch that are not they're not in the free tier. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought, well, I'll take a look at this, and the show Superstore, which is an NBC show that I have not watched before, but I wanted to,
Okay.
because I know somebody who's on the show, and it was something that I just kind of wanted to go back and watch, but you have to pay for
Mm. Well,
that
yeah,
show.
I'm sure the popular shows, yeah,
Right.
they're
So yeah, so there are many other streaming networks. I mean, there's a horror network. There's Shudder, I think it's called. Um, there is one that's just about like documentaries and
mm,
like indie films. That it's called Ovid, and
Ovid. I might need to
yeah,
check
and,
that one
and
out.
it's really cool. It's actually really interesting. Um, they've got a ton of stuff that I had never heard of, but that I would sit down and start watching, and was just like, man, it's really cool stuff. But you just, for me, I just get pulled back to the ones that I kind of have established and go with, and it's hard because I think all of these shows are just fighting for your attention,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to, and your time is valuable, and you've got to figure out how you want to spend it, especially if you're taking a little time to sit in front of the TV and watch something. It's hard to decide to watch something that's new and kind of out of your comfort zone, I think, especially now. So
Yeah.
you know so
Well,
yeah.
I think that is an extensive list of
Yes,
some of our streaming things and some other maybe new ones that I've never heard of. I'm going to check out that Ovid.tv
agreed.
a little
Yes,
later. But also, you can watch us on YouTube.
indeed.
Oh, you can not only listen to our beautiful voices, you can see our beautiful faces. So check us out on our YouTube channel. You can
Yep.
heavy conversation or just go to bearskin or chubster.com and check us out.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
And there we are.
yeah.
So great. Tell us what you're watching. What networks are you into? What shows are you really into? Movies, that kind of thing. We want to know. We might just share them on social. And believe me, we're always looking for something new to watch because there's too much stuff. So help us narrow it down.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks, Bruce, for sharing some of your episodes and shows that you like. And
Yes.
make sure that you're subscribed to wherever you're listening to our podcast so you hear our new episodes every Tuesday.
Yes.
And I guess that's it for me.
There we go. Until next time.
Thanks, Bruce.
See you, Jody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Heavy Conversation. Be sure to like and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you get your
Podcasts.